Good afternoon. Today, I want to inform you the 10 lost tribe of Israel. Have you heard one of the tribe called GAD, G-A-D? The concubine of Leah, sons of Bilhah, Zilpah, concubine of Leah. She had sons named Gad and Asher. And Gad founded in Nigeria, in West Africa. It is called Igbo tribe. Igbo tribe is located in Biafra, southeastern part of Nigeria, bordering with the Cameroon, and by the Cameroon Niger River, and I think it is called Benue River, merged into Niger River, and forming into one river, and a river delta, and eastern part. That's where it's located, and these peoples, called the Igbo tribe, IGBO, as always, also the Bantu tribe, and Bantu speaking tribe or sub-Saharan African. Eventually the DNA do not confirm that they are the Semitic or the Jewish descent, because their DNA E1A or E1B1A is not Semitic or North African, or majority of Jewish have the E1B1B. Actually, E1B1A is not Jewish DNA, and but they have the history of Jewish culture, and they claim that they are the sons and descendant of sons of God, 80, and I don't know, there's a so big number of people that also the Igbo descendant are 60% to 80% of a majority of Afro-American descendants are claiming to be the descendant of Igbo tribe. And so that they have been going through the Jewish Council, because of the type of DNA, they are not confirmed to be a Jewish, and because of DNA they mark the E1A or E1B1A is actually the sub-Saharan African Bantu Niger Congolese Negroid speaking tribe DNA. So it is not Semitic, but recently they confirmed by the Sephardic group. It is called Obadyah Alliance, and Dr. Dayan Yehonatan Elazer-DeMota, who is operated in Florida, reading this subject. He's a former convert of Judaism. That he's African American descendant, and the group also I think a Portuguese or Sephardic groups. The names are Dayan Jacob de Oliveira. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Dayan Elazer-Tabor, Dayan Yehonatan, Elazer-DeMota. That's a person who are African American rabbi. I think it's called judge, or Rabbi Hananiah Cohen and Rabbi Haim Obadyah. So all community to the president of Obadyah Alliance and secretary of the Bet Din. And if you have a question, you can write to Dr. Dayan, D-A-Y-A-N, Yehonatan, Y-E-H-O-N-A-T-A-N, Elazer, E-L-A-Z-A-R dash D-E-M-O-T-A, DeMota. The address is 4617 Northwest NW, Northwest 156th Street, Miami, Florida 33054. And the email is B as a boy, E as elephant, T as a Tom, D as a David, I as Israel, N as a Nancy, Bedding at Obadyah, O, B as a boy, A, D, Y, A, H.com. So what is said in the document, it said Igbo Israelite connected to Christianity and their return. The question, I want to read the paragraph. It says, there exists a claim that the Igbo of Nigeria belong to the children of Israel. There are millions of inhabitants in and out of Igbo land, especially IGBO, L-A-N-D, Igbo land, who belong to the Igbo tradition. Much has been written about the Igbo traditions, which attest to the claim, including historical and anthropological works detailing lore, customs, sociology, philosophy, and history. Despite strong evidence of their connection to the biblical Israelite, due to forced conversions to Christianity, there are few rabbinic authorities today who decide that Igbos must undergo either a full convergence or undergo strict procedures to remove all doubt and to remove all doubt and to reintegrate them with the Jewish people. What is the halakha, spelling H-A-L-A-K-H-A-H, halakha, regarding the Israelite identity of the Igbos, and can hierarchic Jews marry with them? Question mark. The answer is due to the transgressions of our ancestors. Our nation was divided into two kingdoms before the destruction of the first temple in Jerusalem during the time of the prophet Jeremiah AH. While the vast majority of Israelites went to Babylon, some Israelites relocated to Egypt and found the Elephantine Jewish community. The Elephantine Jewish community is located in the River Nile, which is the border of Egypt and the northern Sudan, and the Nile goes into the Nubian desert, Kush, and this is actually the island called Elephantine, and south of Aswan, I believe somewhere around there, so that there were the Jewish community. Genetic studies of the Y chromosomes of Igbo men demonstrate that they originated in the Levant Basin, Lebanon, Jordan, Israel, around this called the Levantine. Sharing genetic links with the Sephardic, which means Spanish or Spaniard or Portuguese. Ashkenazi is a German, Aryan, Ashkenazi Jews alike. While there is yet an exhaustive academic genetic study of the Igbos, the data of the majority of those who have reported their autosomal and Y chromosome DNA support that their ancestors migrated from the Levant Basin into East Africa and then settled in West Africa. Interesting thing is that Ethiopian Jews are called the tribe of Dan, and it is also located close to the Egypt, Sudan, and then Blue Nile and the White Nile are separated into two rivers. And the Blue Nile goes to a Horn of Africa, and the Blue Nile reaching into the land of Abyssinia, and that's Ethiopian Jews are coming from the region, and moreover, Farashamura, or what they call, is the descendant of Dan. So let's focus on tribe of Gad. The tribe of Gad and Asher are the close brother of one mother. It's called Zilpah, the concubine of Leah. Tribe of Dan and Naphtali are close brother, and the mother is Zilpah, Bilhah. Naphtali, and Dan's mother Bilhah, and the concubine of Rachel. Mother of Gad and Asher is Zilpah, the concubine of Leah, and they both had two sons. Gad Asher is under Zilpah, and Naphtali and Dan is under Bilhah, not Zilpah. So those are the concubines brought there. 4 tribes of Israel. So So the one of the tribe is called GAD, founded to be in Nigeria, in Biafra. And as I continue reading here in the document, Igbos are organized according to clans. The elders transmit genealogies orally back to our patriarch Jacob. Indeed, many Igbos descend from Kohanim and Levite. This fact attests to the ancient Israelite origin of the Igbos. The interesting thing is they are recently founded to be called the Limba tribe, which is located in southern Africa. And the Limba tribe is located in Zimbabwe. And this tribe, that their DNA founded Semitic DNA, founded, and they claim that they are the descendant of Kohanim, or the sons of Aaron, sons of Levite. And more of all, their tribe, their root founded to be came from Yemen, in a place called Sana'a. These are the Bantu-speaking tribe, and they also claimed that they are the descendant of children of Israel, just like Igbo tribe, the Bantu speakers. But interesting that originally the Bantu in Africa is originated from the Igbo tribe, and these are spread into the southern part of Africa and also into the East Africa, forming the Bantu-speaking. And the Bantu-speaking tribe are also related to the Niger-Congo tribe, which is a coastal region of West Africa, all the way up to Senegal. Negroid tribe, also called Bantu, speaker of Niger Congolese, Niger Kordofan. The majority of African descendants are sub-Saharan Africa, so that I'm allocated the subject now, and continue reading over. Moreover, the historiographical data written during the time of the Songhai Empire. Songhai Empire is located Mali in Timbuktu. Timbuktu, Mali. If you go northern Niger River, from the Niger River, you can reach to the desert area between southern part of Algeria and Morocco, and eastern part of Mauritania. This region used to call the Songhai Empire or the Mali Empire, or maybe you heard about Timbuktu, the inhabited of Jewish tribes, and actually I heard they got defeated by Moroccan kingdom, conquered by the Moroccan kingdom, which was they brought also the many Sephardic Jewish descendants, and after the Inquisition, 1492, much Sephardic Jewish origin goes interior of a Western African region, and they formed the community, and they found it to be mixed into the African. That is a part of culture, of a Sephardic culture, that mixed into the African tribes. So there were Marian Jews, or called the Songhai Empire. They had a Jewish tribe in Timbuktu, nation called Timbuktu. And so that Igbos and the Songhai Empire are also connecting into the river, and the river and the culture is connected to the Niger River. Continue reading. The Bios that Portuguese and the Moroccan Jews traded in the region of Igbo land. Either way, the Igbo land is located in southeastern part of Nigerian coast of Biafra. And after 1492, the many Sephardic Jews are looking for the home after they are expelled from the Iberia, currently the Portugal and Spain. Many Portuguese departed out into Africa to the Mozambique, and the Shona tribe, Limba tribe are located there in the country called Mozambique. That's a Portuguese. Over 500 years, and also the first European group to enter the Biafra, and this is a Portuguese merchant. So that this is also saying, moreover, the historiographical area data written during the time of the Songhai Empire reveals that Portuguese and Moroccan Jews traded in the region of Igbo land. And I think that this is a skeptical, because either the tribe of GAD, originally from Israel, or either the mixed multitude of Sephardic Jews. I think you can count it both ways, but there is no specific record there that's this only the name is bearing this Igbo tribe has the sons of Eri and Arodi, which is the son of God. And I don't know how far that between 1492 and before the record shows, but records also evidence the union between Portuguese or Sephardic Jews and West Africans in the region, whereby local women underwent hierarchic conversions to the Jewish people. Such was the case in Senegal, Gambia, that's also located in West Africa, south of Mauritania, Nigeria, Togo, Benin is also located in the Western Africa by Nigeria and Ghana area between, and Angola. Angola is the southern part of a West Portuguese country. In the 16th and 17th century, some Portuguese Jews, also called Sephardic Jews, took their African wives with them to the port city of Antwerp and Amsterdam. I think it is called Netherlands, where they were integrated into the respective communities. the presence of Israelite along the Niger River had been known by Jewish authorities in the United Kingdom, England, the Netherlands, Lithuania is one part was Russian Empire, and Suriname. Suriname is located in South American country. Rabbinic letters addressed to the Igbos by Chief Rabbi Dr. Solomon Herschel Lewin, David Merdora, and the Gaon of Biona Elijan Zalman. I think all the Sephardic people support the idea that there was contact between European Jewish communities and Igbo Israelite. All of the correspondence from the aforementioned rabbinic authorities address the Igbo as brethren of the children of Israel. Accordingly, there is no doubt of their origin nor of their hierarchic status as Israelite. So that they recognize, but they are not actually not recognized as their hierarchic status as Israelite, as mostly Ashkenazim and the Mizrahim, and they are the especially for the hierarchic authorities are strict that law following the Jewish laws and commandments. Continue reading. In the 19th century, the Igbo community suffered forced assimilation to Christianity, which is, I think today this is the most multiplied Pentecostal church in the world are the Nigerian Christian population. I'm not sure about 6 to 8 million. I doubt. Maybe more than that. If you count it, African American, Nigerian, and Caribbeans, and other European Igbo descendants, mostly that majority are the Christian, most largest community in the world. Missionaries started arriving in Igbo land in 1857, so that Portuguese arrived in Igbo land after 1492. There's about 350 years before. Then the missionary arrived to the British. When the British colonialism was extended there, Christianity began to take hold. Because of Portuguese and Spanish are Catholic, and after the Reformation of Martin Luther King in Germany, England is British were the Pentecostal. Today that we are the Christians, are called Christians, are the Pentecostal. There's also the difference in the church belief system. Pentecostal strictly believe what written in the Bible, but many Roman Catholics many laws are created by the Pope or the Roman Empire, their manipulated into the politics. So there's a much difference. Many Igbos were baptized, taking on Christian names and customs, despite their atrocity. Igbos never lost consciousness of who they were, especially because they continued to marry among themselves. Another contributing factor to their endogamous, just one second, endogamous marriage was discrimination from other ethnic groups in the region. Despite forced conversions to Christianity, there were those who, throughout the period of missionary activity, resisted the adoption of Christianity. They continued to pray in synagogues dedicated to the worship of the God of Israel. Upon them there is no doubt cast. They are the finest example of Israelite throughout history who have defied every pressure to uphold the covenant. Overall, Igbos maintain their Hebrew identity even amid political and cultural turmoil. So the misunderstanding in the biblical understanding that what Messianic Jews are taught to be completed Jews, which is a prophecy and a law, who was actually the 613th commandment, no one can able to achieve because of our sins, but who completed is Yeshua HaMashiach, or Jesus Christ is in Hebrew, name Yeshua HaMashiach. So that when you accepting and becoming a believer in Yeshua or Jesus Christ, you are completed Jew, or the promise fulfilled, and you become one. But their understanding is not to accepting the Christianity. Maybe because of we also learned that the Christianity defiled in the past by Roman Catholic, because Roman Catholic, they don't teach about the Roman Catholic or Christian, so-called Christianity today. Have you heard replacement theology? And this the replacement theology defined there is no it is all replaced to the promise of what Israel and Jewish tribe inherited is passed on to the Gentile Christians, and that's what really the matter. Let me continue reading. But what of those forced to adoption Christian ways? Today, hundreds of thousands of Igbos in and out of Igbo land are returned to Omenana, Omenana. That's Igbo language. It is meaning what you do in the land, Omenana. So the Omenana, the Igbo community are trying to separate or the create the Biafra land. Namdi Kanu, I think his name is right. Namdi Kanu is a Igbo leader, and he jailed, but he came out. He is the leader of Igbo land, creating the independence or from the Nigeria. It's called Biafra. Uh, uh, Continue reading. Some of them have made connections with Jewish communities worldwide. Contact between Igbos and Jewish communities have raised questions about whether they are indeed Israelite and whether Jews and Igbos can marry each other according to halakha. As stated before, there is no doubt that Igbos are our brethren, the children of Israel. The question at hand is if the adoption to Christianity by those who were forced affect their status as Israelite. The analysis herein will demonstrate that questions involving the doubt for status of Israelite who are coerced into Christianity only arise within Ashkenazi authorities who lived during the Second Crusade. On the other hand, Sephardic Jews who suffered forced conversions to Islam and Christianity were unanimously treated as Israelite. Also, have you heard conversos after the 1492 Inquisition in Iberian Peninsula? Many Sephardic Jews, either you were converted to proclaim that you are Catholic, then you can stay. Or if you denied, the option is you are killed. So many Jews at the time, Sephardic Jews, choose to leave because they can able to leave and look for another land to live. So many Sephardic Jews left to South America, Central America. The Columbus was one of them, and they even went many went to Morocco. So many Moroccan Jews are Sephardic descendant, and North Africa, Egypt, Algeria, Libya, Morocco, and West Africa. Many are descendants of Sephardic Jews, and Turkey. There are many Sephardic Jews migrated into Turkey during the Holocaust, and many went to other Spaniard colonial state. And I think I heard that 25% of every Hispanic descendant, either one of your grandfather or grandmother of a Spanish descendant, are the DNA identically they are the Jews, but they are Catholic. So many undergoes conversion, and many become Jewish and left Israel. One of the country it is called the state is between the Colorado. You can Google the Colorado and New Mexico in the border. There was a community, the Catholic community, for many years, many hundred years. When they arrived, this Spanish community went to a DNA and they find it to be that they have the Sephardic Jewish DNA. They went under convergence and they returned to Israel. So many Sephardic also, especially the Portuguese, went to the even the longest slave trade, more than 500 years in Mozambique, and I think 300, 400, 400, 350 years in Nigeria. Between the time that many Portuguese intermarried to the Africans, so there are many possibilities that they mix into the Sephardic Jews are mixed into the Mozambique, Angola, and other part of African countries, especially Igbo land. It precises the historical collection, and so they also went to the North Africa and Turkey. Further went the when a British colonized England. England colonized the Iraq. England ordered Bilal Sassoon. The Bilal Sassoon was, I think, first president of Iraq, a leader. I'm not sure is specific, but this person, Bilal Sassoon, is the grandfather of David Sassoon. These came from a descendant from Turkey, but originally from Iberian Peninsula, which was also the Sephardic Jews. And after they went to the opium trade through England, they went over to India. Also, many Baghdadis, called the Baghdadi Jews, they are the community called Baghdadi Jews, are the Sephardic Jews of the Iberian descendant. And so this is the largest, that the history, largest Sephardic synagogue is in Bombay. David Synagogue, I think that the name, that's a built by David Sassoon, if I'm saying the correction. Okay, so let me continue. This analysis will demonstrate that according to Jewish law, Igbos are Anusim and should be treated as suggested children by the heathens. As such, they should be treated with kindness, mercy, and compassion. Take off my glasses better. During the 13th and 14th century, after the Second Crusade, Franco-German rabbinic authorities took a more severe position regarding Anusim. They preferred Kiddush Hashem, martyrdom, instead of conversion to Christianity. In the middle of the 13th century, R. Meyer ben Baruch of Rothenburg, Maharam, decided that in the ease of a Harissa, the brothers who are Mishmadim cannot fulfill this mitzvah. This same Hakam does not accept as valid the testimony of renegade Jews, not even if they are secretly sincere to the faith of their ancestors. R. Joseph ben Moshe, 15th century German Bavaria, decide that one who rejects the essential tenets of the Jewish faith must shave his hair and immerse himself in the presence of 2 or 3 people. Ar Israel decides that those who return to the faith of their ancestors are not membered in the community for things that have to do with kedusha, money and testimonies, etc. Until he has been shaven and has made tabila, he then said, although this is not required, it is already the custom of our fathers, therefore it is law. Thus, Anusim and renegade Jews are treated as being either part from the nation of Israel or treated harshly. The Sephardic community that if you because of many have background of Inquisition, and many went out from the Iberian Peninsula, not remaining in the land and being killed, but rather to be killed. They went out to North Africa, Central, South America. Columbus was one of them. He came to the United States. Other Filipino, either like Spaniard and Portuguese colonial state like Brazil as well. So the Jews of Sephardic descent, well, once they are called the conversos, that they were Catholic, that they, but under the hitting that they faith just kept the Jewishness, so that the outside they pretends to be Catholic and worship on the status of Virgin Mary, and then secretly they are following the Torah, and then when it was the time that many conversos returning to Judaism to become a Jew, and it happened that still happening now, because of the many Catholics still considering the 1/4 of the grandmother or grandfather, one of the grandmother or grandfather is the recently founded to be the DNA company, claims My Heritage DNA. It is called a Sephardic Jewish organization that claiming that the most specialized. They claiming that many are descendants of the Sephardic Jews. So there's still the numbers of Catholic they believe to be the descendant of Jewish in Israel. I think today the largest Israelis are descendant of Sephardic Jews. Rather, the Ashkenazim are more in New York City or the Ukraine or other part of the world. Still, that the Ashkenazim are the forming largest community of the Jewish community in the world. But in Israel, is the largest community is, I believe, that the Sephardic Jews. And um, so this is what's going on right now. So continue reading. I already read during the 13th, 14th century the second crusade. Okay, continue reading. How did Sephardic authorities? Just one second. Let me see. How did Sephardic authorities treat the issues of the Anusim, and how might they have treated the Igbo during the encounters at the time of the Songhai Empire? The Radbaz, or David ibn Zamra, was born in Spain and was 13 years old when the Jews were expelled in 1492. This talks about Inquisition. The Radbaz decides that Tabira is not necessary for returning Anusim, being that their ancestors already received the yoke of the Torah and made Tabira at Sinai. The Maran Shauhan Aruk decide those Anusim who stayed in their land, Spain and Portugal, if they practice Hasharus among themselves and cannot flee to a place where they can serve the Most High, we trust in their Shehita, and we do not forbid drinking the wine that they touch. The Maharit are Yom to Tov Moshe Saharon decides that there is no suspicion that a person who returns to the Jewish tradition openly is from a non-Jewish mother, being that the Anusim have Hazaka, that they marry among themselves. This applies equally to the Igbo, since it is known and widespread that they marry among themselves. Finally, the Hida, Haim Yosef David Azrei, decides that the descendants of the Anusim only have to bless Sheheyahu after performing the buried Milah, while the proselyte must bless after the Tabila. Herein one sees the halakhic difference between the returning Israelite and proselyte. All of those responsa which were written during the time period of the Inquisition could be easily applied to the Igbo due to the special political similarities between both contexts. Overall, Sephardic rabbinic authorities treat the Anusim as legitimate Israelites who do not need to be immersed upon their return to the open practice of the Jewish tradition. Indeed, the Igbos should be treated in the same way. So as I read the hearing document by the Sephardic authority, the Igbo to be acceptance and the returning to the land of Israel as a Jew is supported by this organization. It's called Obadyah Alliance, and Dr. Dayan, Yehonatan, Elazer-DeMota. He is the I think the judge who decide, also the convert of African American descendant. So that so I wanted to finish reading and then I give you a comment what I feel. Okay, let me regarding the question of marriage with the Igbos, the Hatem Safar, Rabbi Moshe Schneiber decided in a responsion that all families of Israelites are fit to marry each other, and there is no question of their Jewishness. There he explains that Rashi demands to analyze the lineage through the Ketubos only when there is a suspicion of the Kohanim lineage. This is when Kohanim are believed to have Kohanim are believed to have mixed with non-Jews. On the other hand, the Hatem Safar decides, like the Libash, the Kohanim among the Anusim, if they return to the faith of their ancestors, they are Kesherim, since they are most careful not to mingle with the nations, just as it is laid down by the principle. Anything that is separated from its majority reflects that majority. He then says that since the days of the Second Temple, no doubt have been raised among the lineage of the Kohanim. Therefore, God forbid we should pass judgment on the Kohanim who come from the Anusim, that a non-Jew has raped a daughter of Israel. Accordingly, the same rules should be applied to the Igbos, especially because they are strictly endogamous. The question is the DNA called Cohen model haplogroup today, CMH. And this is passed on to the father to the sons. And all the Ashkenazim, Mizrahim, also Sephardic, who are the rabbi lineage of Cohen, detect this small amount of the Y chromosome. It is called Cohen model haplogroup, and this is traced back to all the way to the sons of Aaron, the Kohens. Still today, that merged all the rabbis around the world from Ashkenazi, Mizrahim, and Sephardic. They all have, the rabbis have this gene. But you cannot deny, because of this is passed on to the father to the sons, then the father to the sons, to the father to the sons. Today, the Jewishness is counted, and Israel is a law of return is if your mother is a Jew and you are Jewish, or either today that you are one of your grandmother or grandfather from the parent, two side, mother and father, one of your grandmother or grandfather is Jewish, you can returning the Israeli law, you can return to Israel. Go back to the third generations. So CMH that found it to be the pass on to the father to the sons. I would say if you go to specific analysis to find out, because of this is a form with a different community in a group as a different, but they all concerned with the same age from different DNA groups. Because a group of Jewishness in DNA from Sephardic, Ashkenazi, and Mizrahi are slightly the different groups, forming the Jewish groups. But the same age is attached to all the Levites. Similarity among all the Levites. Okay, continue reading the fact rabbinic authorities during the Songhai empires were aware of Israelite in Igbo land leads to the logical conclusion that they treated Igbos as Israelite. The sum of the matter is that Igbos are to be treated as Israelite in every sense of the word, and also their priestly and Levite lineage should be upheld as valid. Upon their return to Omenana, they should be circumcised if they hadn't performed it already, said Sheheyanu. Afterwards, and partake of the coronat ceremony with their brethren, as is customary among Igbos. Then shall the word of the prophet be fulfilled. When I bring you out from the nations and gather you from the countries where you are scattered, I will accept you as a pleasing aroma. Through you I will be made holy in the sight of the nations. May it be so. Yehonatan, Elazer-DeMota, 12 Shabbat 5782. So this is early January in this year of 2022. Early January that this law is passed, and so that Igbos are now protected under the law of return and by the Obadyah Alliance. Even though the Igbos do not have the Jewish DNA, they claim to be the sons of God, one of the tribe of Israel. And now some say they claim that all the tribe came into Igbo land, but they still don't have found it, the DNA. If it is importance for the Semitic lineage, Middle Eastern lineage, the DNA must be present to the people. I believe this is a necessity, but Israeli law of return is not under the ethnic DNA, ethnicity, then the religion or the convert who are converted to return to Israel is approved. The more importance for the individuals to be a Jews by the belief, so that even when this group is called Bnei Menashe, Eastern India, it's called the Bnei Menashe is an Indian Jew. More closely, the Burman, what do you call the Burman, Tibeto-Burman descendant, or the close to Thailand people, Southeast Asians, this tribe do not have no DNA or Semitic DNA, but because they are following the order of Judaism, following the Jewish tradition, the culture, and also retaining the Jewish Judaism. Even though that when they returning, actually almost 7,000 to 10,000 are now returning to Israel. They have to go through the under conversion by the chief rabbi. So this is what's happening now. But I don't know how many numbers of Igbos will be returning to Israel, and but this is going to be if this law is passed. What I heard, this is going to be a lot of people, and also they can pass on to the Afro-Americans, descendant of who are claiming to be the Jews. Also, Afro-Americans, many are convert to the Jews as well. They are returning. Obadyah. So I think I am concerned and Sephardic Jewish backing up the Igbo tribes, and to this group, the law is passed only this year of January 2022, and tribe of GAD are returning to Israel. And Shabbat Shalom. I would say congratulations, Shabbat Shalom, and thank you, and God bless you, and keep the Yeshua HaMashiach in your heart. Amen. In Jesus' name.